In the annals of military history, few names resonate with as much power and prestige as that of General George S. Patton. A larger-than-life figure known for his audacious leadership and unrelenting determination, Patton's impact on the Second World War was nothing short of legendary. But behind the scenes of Patton's celebrated career lies a lesser-known tale, a story of innovation, strategy, and unwavering commitment. This is the story of how General Patton built up his tank division into one of the most formidable armored forces of World War II. In hindsight, Allied victory in World War II seems inevitable. The Allies, particularly the Americans, were well-equipped, well-informed, and had mobilized all the manpower needed to liberate the world from the Nazi Reich. However, it's easy to forget the precariousness of the situation during the war itself. Months of meticulous planning and split-second decisions at crucial moments altered the course of history forever. The North African theater served as the initial tipping point in a series of events leading up to the pivotal Battle of the Bulge. Born from the ashes of World War I, the tank emerged as a symbol of modern warfare, a weapon that could turn the tide of battle with its steel might. And in Patton's hands, the tank became a force to be reckoned with. Patton was a visionary leader who understood the potential of armored warfare like few others. He saw tanks not just as machines of war, but as instruments of power and influence. The golden era of mechanized armor symbolized an intense arms race between opposing forces. The concept of employing armored vehicles in combat had been a dream since the Renaissance, yet it wasn't until the crucibles of both world wars that engineers could develop tanks fit for battle. In the heat of battle, tank crews depended heavily on the command and control structures provided by their frontline commanders. In mechanized warfare, the importance of efficient logistics cannot be overstated. Poor logistics can be as deadly as enemy fire. Equally vital to the war effort were the civilians back home, who manned the assembly lines and operated civilian vessels, braving the U-boat-infested Atlantic. World War II truly represented an all-hands-on-deck endeavor, where both military and civilian contributions were indispensable to achieving victory. The North African theater served as a crucial testing ground for America's troops and provided the United States with an opportunity to establish a strategic foothold. The decision to engage Hitler's secondary units in Africa was of paramount importance, as it marked the first significant involvement of American forces in the war. Operation Torch, commanded by General Dwight D. Eisenhower, marked the initial invasion aimed at confronting the Axis powers on the continent. The objective was to execute amphibious assaults across Casablanca, Algiers, and Oran, deploying over 65,000 U.S. troops. Of these, 33,000 troops were directly transported from the U.S. mainland. The lessons gleaned from the challenging battles in Africa came at a heavy price, with many sacrifices made by Allied forces. However, the invaluable experience gained from the early setbacks in Africa proved to be a strategic investment that yielded significant dividends later on in Europe. Despite being outnumbered and outgunned, the Italians and Vichy French possessed a formidable asset, General Rommel and his panzer divisions. Kasserine Pass stands as a stark reminder of General Rommel's mastery of ambush tactics, where he cunningly lured American tanks into a flak 88 killing field. The toll exacted during this campaign was devastating, with over 6,500 souls sacrificed. The adoption of new tactics to counter the relentless onslaught of Nazi blitzkrieg came at an immense cost, borne by the lives of American and British soldiers. Recognizing the need for decisive action, the United States made a critical change of command, entrusting the destiny of the campaign to the capable leadership of General Patton. General Patton emerged as a commanding figure, characterized by both aggression and strategic foresight. He prioritized logistics and defensive preparations while astutely exploiting General Rommel's most human weakness, pride. While America benefited from the production miracle at home, rapidly manufacturing essential war supplies, Rommel and the Axis forces faced mounting challenges with strained resupply routes. Rommel's illustrious moniker as the Desert Fox often led him to overextend his forces and supply lines. The German supply lines, stretching from Tripoli to the front lines at Derma, stretched dangerously thin under the weight of Rommel's ambitions. Driven by the demands of his leader and his own pride, Rommel pressed on despite logistical challenges, even refueling his forces personally. However, his supply shortages left him vulnerable. Recognizing this weakness, General Patton outmaneuvered him, shifting the tide of the conflict in favor of the Allies. In the United States, every sector of industry was mobilized for the production of armaments during World War II. General Patton oversaw the deployment of thousands of tanks to the front lines, with many more in production. The nation's population rallied around a common cause, rapidly expanding the army from 188,000 troops to 8.3 million by the war's conclusion. As Patton began to shift the course of the war in Africa, a new technology emerged, the magnetron No. 12 radar device. This small yet powerful radar could detect U-boats that had previously evaded detection. Coupled with the successful cracking of the Enigma code, this technology nullified German surprise attacks across all Allied theaters of engagement. Rommel's once formidable 7th Panzer Division found its victories of years past elusive. Patton abandoned outdated cavalry charge tactics of World War I in favor of combined arms offensives, a strategy still relevant today. In March 1943, Patton was temporarily promoted to the rank of lieutenant general. Leading the U.S. 7th Army into Sicily, he employed his armored forces in a swift drive that resulted in the capture of Palermo in July and Messina in August. The pinnacle of Patton's career occurred during the dramatic sweep of his Third Army across northern France in the summer of 1944. This campaign was characterized by remarkable initiative, relentless drive, and a willingness to disregard traditional military conventions. Patton's armored units did not become operational until August 1st, nearly 2 months after D-Day. However, by the end of the month, they had swiftly captured key locations including Mayenne, Laval, Le Mans, Reims, and Chalons. As German resistance in Normandy started to crumble, a pocket emerged between advancing British and American forces, posing a threat to trap 2 German armies at Falaise. Patton was eager to complete the encirclement of the Germans, but his superior, General Omar Bradley, was concerned that such a maneuver would leave Patton's flanks vulnerable to counterattack. By the time the gap between Falaise and Argentan was sealed on August 20th, an estimated 20,000 to 40,000 Germans had managed to escape. As the Third Army moved closer to the German border, progress was hampered by supply shortages, though the advance persisted, until it encountered formidable German defenses at Nancy and Metz in November. In December 1944, the Germans launched a large-scale surprise counterattack in the Ardennes forest, encircling the U.S. 101st Airborne Division at Bastogne, Belgium. Responding to the crisis, Supreme Allied Commander General Dwight Eisenhower issued orders for Patton's Third Army to relieve Bastogne. Patton demonstrated remarkable agility in repositioning his forces with astonishing speed to meet this urgent task. The enthusiastic and inexperienced troops who landed in Africa were now transformed into hardened soldiers with a steely resolve, their determination etched in their 1,000-yard stares as they raced to support the 101st Airborne and beyond. Through the trials of Africa, Sicily, Italy, and beyond, Patton's tank crews evolved into a highly efficient and cohesive unit, finely tuned and ready for any challenge. Patton's intelligence officer, Colonel Oscar Koch, played a pivotal role in making such a feat possible. He accurately predicted the German offensive through a shrewd analysis of enemy troop strength and disposition. As a result, advance elements of the Third Army were able to reach Bastion's resilient defenders on December 26th, with additional reinforcements arriving in the days that followed. New standard operating procedures were put into place, transforming troops from being lost in the chaos to becoming an elite mechanized force penetrating German-controlled territory with precision. Across all fronts, be it air, land, and sea, American forces had honed their skills in locating, closing in on, and annihilating the enemy. In the climactic battle of World War II, Patton's mechanized war machine unleashed every hard-earned lesson with relentless force, delivering a decisive blow to the enemy. Patton's forces maintained relentless pressure on the retreating Germans, and by the end of January 1945, the Third Army had advanced to the German frontier. On March 1st, these forces seized Trier, resulting in one of the war's most famous exchanges. When Patton received a message advising him to bypass the city due to the need for 4 divisions to capture it, he famously responded, "Have taken Trier with 2 divisions. Do you want me to give it back?" In the following 10 days, Patton's troops cleared the entire region north of the Moselle River, ensnaring thousands of German soldiers. They then joined forces with the 7th Army to sweep through the Saar and the Palatinate regions, capturing a staggering 100,000 prisoners in the process. Patton's tank division was known for its speed, aggression, and audacity. He was never one to sit back and wait for the enemy to come to him. Instead, he took the fight to the enemy with unparalleled ferocity. But Patton's success wasn't just about tanks and tactics, it was about the men who fought alongside him. From the tank crews to the support staff, Patton inspired unwavering loyalty and dedication in all who served under him. Patton was probably the only U.S. Army general to fully understand and implement mobile warfare in Europe. Most, if not all, U.S. Army commanders appear infantry-oriented, careful not to make a mistake. Patton was known for employing mission orders in command, wherein he would communicate his objective and intentions to his division commanders, allowing them the autonomy to determine the best approach to achieve the set objective. He was not known to be a detail-oriented micromanager, preferring to trust his subordinate commanders to execute their assigned tasks effectively. Overall, General Patton's leadership and vision transformed his tank divisions into the most formidable armored force of World War II, playing a crucial role in the Allied victory in Europe. His aggressive and innovative approach to armored warfare set the standard for future generations of military leaders,